classes. Wednesday, Newsdays. Wednesday, Newsdays. Welcome and thank you for staying with us. We're still on the conversation about premium side chicks and polygamy. And it's the third part of the conversation. We're ending with the question, has polygamy come to stay? And side chicks as well, premium side chicks. So I will start with my guests who have refused to leave me to muse alone. So Yomi, has this come to stay? Is this something that we're going to continue to live with, in your opinion?
I think that side chicks and polygamy are here to stay. I think polygamy may evolve in what it looks like, but at the base level of a man with more than one woman, I do think, especially with the trajectory we're on of people being true to themselves and living their truth and not fitting into one box or another, I think that it is in some way, I mean, you have open relationships now, which is, again, another form of polygamy. You've got the whole polyamorous movement, which, again, multi-person love. So I do think that to some extent, it's here to stay. In terms of the side chick, I think she's always been around, and I don't think she's retiring anytime soon. So.
Awesome. Uti, your take?
I think that was a very concise summary. Yes, it is here to stay. I don't think I need to add anything else. A simple yes will do.
Okay, it as well for people like us that just don't understand sharing. It's
so you don't have to understand it, right? But is it here? There are many, again, so for me, again, it comes down to the many factors of it. As people continue to evolve, as culture evolves, as the economy evolves, it in itself will evolve. So today we're talking about side chicks from the perspective of she's concealed. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? I mean, I love the talk about open relationships, polyamorous. Who knows what tomorrow is going to manifest? So, but is it? I think for me, I'll just go back to where I started. The motivations will continue to change. The people who find themselves in bad situations. I mean, even now, where weddings have become a whole production. For some people, it's about the wedding. I want to get married. I want to be Mrs. Somebody without thinking about what tomorrow brings. And then when you find it out, I think I agree with Demola when we're talking about the amount of women today who are married, people who know together, between the both of us, we both have something to lose and we're going into this. So I can't see any, I don't have a crystal ball, but if I could, I can't see any variation of the future if this was a sci-fi movie where it wouldn't be here to stay.
Interesting.
But I think that something to note that I don't know if it existed in the past is the choice that women have now with regards to whether I want to be part of a polygamous relationship or not. So where culturally you may have met someone, fallen in love with someone, and then 2 years down the line, the person brings somebody else into the home as your junior wife. You would have just been told to accept it. I mean, your mom was one of many, your grandma was one of many. What makes you so special? I think what is different now is where you have the choice of whether you as a woman want to be part of it or not. And I think that's already in and of itself an evolution of our understanding of polygamy. So I would just throw that in as well.
Awesome, thank you for that. So I was before, in fact, maybe I should have Demola share his views, then I'll come to this other question. Demola, what's your stance?
Well, okay. So,
I'm sure you agree. It is here forever.
So I think, like Uti has said, polygamy has nowhere to go to. It's probably going to evolve.
Right.
And I think
I don't say it's already evolving, no?
it's evolving.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've had for the past 15 minutes, 1 hour, we're talking about side chicks. And what I'll tell you is that life has evolved beyond side chicks to side men, or side boys, or side guys, which is where it's getting to. And I'll always go back to the economics and the dynamics of it. Today, women are far better off than what they were 20, 30 years ago. So now what you realize is that you might end up even having the whole polyamorous, woman having multiple partners. Cannot be
the table's 10.
Yes, be the whole provider.
Yeah, you have a woman who's doing that.
And then, she goes and says, you know what, you cannot provide for me.
Let me ask you a funny question. So, again, right, we're used to the men being the ones who have multiple wives. Would you be a second husband or a third?
I don't mind. Oh God! I have to work. I will sleep, clean, wait for her. I will be there. See, that is hard.
He's so right. The concept of sugar boys and sugar babies of all genders is the norm now.
It's the norm now. So at the end of the day, we go back to the 70s and the 80s, whereby all we heard was 4 wives at home, 5 wives at home. Never used to think of the intricacies of this. This might even satisfying all of them. Majority of them believe that died, reaching their full potential, moving to 2 wives, and then moving to the fact that one woman is more than enough for a man to pursue or worship for the whole lifetime. This is sounds side chick. So there's an evolution that has been happening for the past 30, 40 years. If you extrapolate and look towards the future, it's definitely not going to go backwards. Something would have to do. You understand? So,
fantastic.
Side chicks are here to stay.
That's all.
But tomorrow, side men are coming up.
So what's fantastic points that you make, right? So when we were talking earlier on and asking, the double standards of why is it okay for the guys to have side chicks, and you said, oh, the man would die. Like, you can't. But is this same men too now that don't mind being a side husband? Like, what would have changed them? Because this is what we're saying. We're all human beings, right?
So if you freeze frame and look at the men of today, I'm saying probably the guys from the age of 25 to 50. I'm just trying to say. We are used to the fact that we believe, and there's a picture, like what Uti said, there's a picture of what your marital life would look like and what you have.
Or your reality.
And then there's the reality.
Right.
So a lot of times, the men look at their wives as their safe spaces, their sanctuary.
Right.
I'm a sinner. I'm messed up. When I come to you, you understand? There's a movie. Is it called War Room or Prayer Room?
War Room.
Thank you. Never watched it. I've heard a lot about it. You get me? So there's that kind of mentality that has been fed into the minds of a lot of men that once I can tell you that I want to be with you, there's nothing else you need. You should not ask
for anything else. I've told you that of the 1 million, I am cleaving to you. As
so
my
be grateful.
wife. Be grateful.
Wow.
You understand? So that part is like, I'm opening up to you. I'm being vulnerable to you.
Right.
I'm not vulnerable to the women outside. I'm not crying in front of them. I'm not telling them my financial problems.
So feel special.
Once I'm broke, I cut off all the side chicks and I'm at home with you. You understand?
But I don't want you in your brokenness. I want you in your abundance.
You will like the brokenness and the abundance together.
When he's broke, he's not calling you.
Exactly. I don't have to deal with your brokenness.
And he already paid the rent up front.
How is this a value
proposition? I am cushy in my apartment.
So that's why when I leave and I don't come back, I don't expect you to get angry. Because you've always seen the good times. I'm not going to leave the person that has been there with me through the good and the bad times. No.
But I want just the good times too. Like the side chick is getting just the good times. How about that?
See,
why do you think you're doing me a favor by giving me the bad?
Yeah. The bad. I'm not sharing
because I love
with
you.
anyone. No, boo.
Because I love you.
No.
I
love me. I am monogamous when I'm broke.
Use the word.
But when I have
the double standards.
Double
So that's the
standards.
thing. Because I love you and I want you to experience the full essence of me.
Oh, shut up.
Both good and bad.
That's right.
Because when I go out with you, or you say, I respect you because I know that you
Wow.
I'm from the mother of my kids. You are someone that has been there at my lowest and at my best.
Right.
But when I'm always at my best, and with me, they don't burn your papa well. I hope I can speak to you.
Yes, you can.
To tell me not to move this way. And see, I'll say something random.
Yeah.
The premium, there's the wife.
Yeah.
There's a premium side chick. And at times, there's going to be another side chick.
Small chops.
Not even small chops. Another side chick that are looking to replace the premium.
Oh, God.
Now, let me explain to you. You're hiding from madam, wife, the side chick. Now, the side chick too is angry. When you're out and they see you beside another one, what do you think you would do? At the point, you can't. So let me give you an example. There are 3 women here. Madam, premium side chick number 2. We go to the cinema. I've told you I'm going to the cinema. Don't come to the cinema.
Don't be there.
She comes to the cinema. You don't even know anything about her. You have an idea of her, but you don't know anything about her. Do you understand? You now come to the cinema, maybe she's doing like a video, and then you see me in the background. You know her. And then you start asking me the question. Demola, so person was at the cinema, I saw her snap, and you're behind. Oh no, I wasn't with her, I was with my wife. It's difficult. We only have one life, don't kill us.
Why do you want to kill yourself?
Don't kill us.
He said, "Don't kill us." You went with your full chest,
Your 2 hands.
your 2 hands and feet. You not only had this wife that you saw her and she was the full package for presenting to the public.
20%.
Okay.
20%.
No, 80% now. I'm the wife, so I'm 80%.
Yes.
Then there was somebody who continued gymnastics into adulthood that you used for the 20%. Then you have the effrontery with your budget
15%.
lifestyle.
That one is 15. So
Oh,
5.
okay, sorry.
5
So
is less.
because of gymnastics, she's 15%. Then you're telling me, after we have discussed the fact that your budget will not allow you to use your full check to marry this 15%, your little greedy behind went and got yourself suya.
There's something I see online. NS 250. What God cannot do does not exist. Leave the man to one it.
Interesting. And on that note, on that point about it's a man's world, I was talking about an interview that I recently listened to. The late Chief Dokwesi, he was a polygamist, and he said one of his greatest regrets in life was having married multiple wives or being a polygamist. What do you guys have to say? Because if there's regrets, then what is the incentive for this thing? Uti, and we have just a few minutes.
I think that I like conversations in context. I wonder what he said as to why. In life, there are multiple reasons why people can have regrets. Perhaps it could be anything really. So, could he have made better decisions? Could he have built better relationships? Perhaps, remorse on the death. I mean, there's so many reasons. But are there reasons why someone will wake up, 30, 40 years from now and regret the decision of polygamy? Absolutely. I mean, in the most certain of terms, marriage is already difficult with one person. To then have to spread yourself to manage your emotions,
multiple personalities,
and then manage your emotions in relation to the different emotions that manifest on the other person, it must be exhausting.
It must be.
We've largely talked about it from an economic perspective, but in truth, it can't be easy for the man, because if you think about different women, I've just had a long day. I've come in and I've dealt with this woman and she's all angry, she's rah, rah, rah. And then tomorrow you're like, I'm going to go to this other woman and I'm hoping that she'll be good, because that's how we typically think about it, right? She's solving a problem, she's this happy alternate safe space. Then you get there and then she's also mad at you. That's probably where the 5% comes from, because you're like, you know what, I don't even want to talk to you about anything.
How about you just stay by yourself and be happy in peace?
So here's the thing, right? So that it must be, but there are a plethora of reasons why I think that he could have made that statement. Without context, it's difficult to say for definite. But as with every other decision in life, there are always consequences. And I think that definitely can lead to regret.
Awesome. Demola?
Okay.
Chief Pepesi had regrets.
Okay, well, in life, regrets are part of life. You could have an ice cream today, gain 5 kg tomorrow, and regret that top of ice cream.
Wow.
So for me, what I feel is the older you get, and the more, how will I put it, the more you see in life, you realize what is important. And you realize that having intimate relationships with special people actually goes beyond being everybody's friend. And that also plays into having a family. So if you have 2 kids, if you have 1 wife or whatever, the memories you create, it's so close-knit, so important that having 20, 30 kids that you probably don't have a close-knit relationship with, and you just look at them as leeches. You understand? So I understand where he's coming from in terms of regret, because he hasn't seen the same thing probably in all his kids that is expected. So I think it's possible. Understand. Yeah.
Okay. Yummy.
Just like in a minute, share your views on that.
I think, like Uti said, in terms of context, and even going to what Dimola said, it's easy to regret the ice cream, but you enjoyed it last night when you were digging in, and so the following morning when the 5 kg comes on and you're advising everyone else don't do it, they're also gonna look at you like, after you enjoyed it. So I can't really speak to why he would regret it. I'm a great believer in learning from other people's mistakes. And I think if you look at the sum total of the result or the fruit of his relationships with his wives, with his children, that legacy, that will determine for me if indeed it was a regrettable action. So if, everyone came out a roaring success, then it's difficult to say it's a negative thing. But when you see clear pain, trauma, distrust, family squabbles, someone's passed away, and instead of mourning, there's fighting, then that for me is evidence that it's something that should be avoided. So that's the way I look at it.
Wow, interesting. Well, I think it's the perfect time to just then bring this to a close. It's been a very interesting conversation with all of you. And like I said, I don't think it's a conversation that we can ever really exhaust, because there's always going to be varying perspectives and analogies, etc. But I think for me, the point that I would sort of want to end with is to thine own self be true. We've talked about people owning their truth. So just understand who you are, what works for you, what are your expectations, and be open enough to communicate it to the other party. I think what bites the most about this whole concept of having a side chick or being polygamous, as it were, is the deceit behind it. Like, can you just let me know? And let me tell you what I can handle or what I can't handle. We're grown-ups, we're adults. Just speak your truth. And let me say, we refer to the Bible story of Sarah. She was the one that brought. Some people actually use this as the justification for polygamy in today's world. Like, that's what we do in the African culture. The woman brings somebody that can fulfill a gap that she's not able to provide or whatever, fulfill. So she couldn't have a child at the time. She brought a wife for her husband. There are people who believe that that's what you should do if you love somebody in their entirety. And maybe that too makes sense, because if you say you love somebody and they really want something and you can't give it to them, and if it's a wife, can you allow them have it? So I think it's all about honest conversations, and just being true to one another. But thank you all so much for sharing your amazing thoughts and your musings. And to the listeners and audience, I hope you've had a very great time listening to our conversations. I hope you will take 1 or 2 things out of it at least. And I hope that in my quest to empower and to encourage everybody as we journey through life, I hope I've been able to do that with this conversation. And thank you. Stay with us and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, share with your friends, and continue to be a part of this community. Love you. Mwah.